After the success of my Renault Clio video on the channel the other week, it just goes to show that people are still super interested in small, affordable cars. So today I thought, why not bring you another one? Originally, I was going to do a video on the updated electric Corsa, and if you still want to see one of those, then pop it in the comments down below and hopefully I'll ask if I can spend some time with one. But I thought, why not do something a little bit different to what else is out there, and I'll cover the petrol, because there's definitely still a market for petrol cars, probably more than ever, especially with electric cars getting so expensive. People are looking for the affordable option. But is the Vauxhall Corsa still an affordable option, or has it got a little bit pricey? Well, hopefully that's what we're going to find out in today's video. And even if it has got pricey, is it worth it? So if you want to find out everything there is to know about the latest petrol Vauxhall Corsa, then please keep watching. And if you like new car reviews and car content, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button. So first off, let's start by talking about the changes to the new facelift Corsa. It's very much still the same car. It's the same size, it sits on the same platform, but it's had a few external tweaks, a bit like the Peugeot E208, that have just made it current and up with the rest of the lineup in the Vauxhall range. That means you get the new visor grille around the front, which gives it a much sleeker design. You also have those new LED daytime running lights that are in the front of the grille. In this version, we've got the two-tone colourway, which works really well. You've got the red paintwork with the contrasting black wing mirrors, black roof, and you've got that fantastic visor grille at the front. It really does make it stand out. And I personally think it looks a lot sleeker than the previous generation without changing too much. I do think they could have taken it even further. It feels like a little bit of a subtle facelift, but I think we could have seen something even better, a sharper design perhaps. It's still looking a little bit old compared to the Peugeot, which seems to always keep a really fresh look. You also now get some new alloy wheel options. For the higher spec models, they've remained the same. However, the entry-level model now gets some slightly sharper alloy wheels, which make it even more appealing than before. Those changes have been extended around the back, with new badging now finished in black, like first seen on the Anniversary Edition, as well as a shark fin antenna. Changes onto the interior include a new steering wheel that mirrors the visor grille and new fabric options. In a Vauxhall First, the Corsa is going to get LED front headlamps. Plus, if you go for the higher spec model, you'll actually be able to get the IntelliLux headlamps. These are made up of 14 LED elements, and they're up to 30% stronger than the outgoing ones. As part of Vauxhall's simplified range, petrol variants of the new Corsa are available in 3 trim levels: Design, GS and Ultimate. Standard specification has improved on all models, getting rear parking sensors, automatic lights and high beam assist. For options like heated seats, a 360-degree camera and keyless entry, you'll have to opt for the top spec Ultimate. In a bid to reduce their carbon footprint past just electrifying their full model range, Vauxhall now don't use chrome in their vehicles. It actually takes quite a lot of CO2 to produce chrome. So by reducing this, they're reducing their carbon footprint. I also just think it looks better without chrome. The blacked out look actually suits the Vauxhall Corsa and makes it look a little bit more modern, and I think appeals to the target audience. Compared to the Renault Clio that I tested a few weeks ago, the Corsa is currently only available as a petrol for now, but they have confirmed that they will be adding a hybrid car to the lineup later on next year. This is going to be a strong hybrid and will be able to run in electric alone, but it's not going to be a plug-in. I think this is going to be a great option for customers looking to get a more economical small car. Although this version of the petrol car starts at around £20,000. That's already £3,000 more than the Renault Clio. So adding hybrid into the mix could be even more pricey still. And does this feel like a better car than the Renault Clio? I'm not too sure. It is better in some areas, but the Renault Clio just felt a little bit more refined. We'll have to wait and get the hybrid to compare when it comes. We're not sure just yet whether that's going to replace the current petrol or whether it's going to run alongside it. So let's talk about the Corsas that you can currently get in their petrol variants. So there's one engine, it's a 1.2 litre, and it can be turboed or non-turboed. The non-turbos are 75 brake horsepower, and the one that I'm driving, which is 100 brake horsepower, and it's paired together with a manual gearbox. The manual gearbox is okay, it's a little bit sloppy, it's not really the most enjoyable. Perhaps that's because I'm used to my Up GTI, and that's one of the best manual gearboxes on the market. This just feels a little bit vague in where you're putting it. I do like the fact though that despite how hard you're pushing this car, it remains quite well refined. There's no loud engine noise even if you really do push it, so nothing compared to some nasty hybrid competitors. However, if there was the option of going for the more expensive automatic, this is the one that I would recommend. It's just a bit of a nicer drive. And you can have the automatic in a 100 brake horsepower, or you can also opt for a 130 brake horsepower. But I think the 100 is more than capable for this size of car. So what's actually changed for this new generation of Corsa when it comes to the drive? Well, it's not actually a huge amount, although not much really needed changing. It was a pretty good small car. The main changes are the addition of some extra safety aids, so it's safer than ever, which of course is a very good thing when it comes to this class of car, because they're used for a lot of first-time buyers and people that are just starting out small families. The highest spec models get everything from blind spot sensors to lane assist, anti-collision warning, and also traffic sign recognition. So if you're looking for a really safe Supermini, then this is a really good one to go for, although it does miss out on some of the above and beyond safety systems that some other competitors have, like when you open the doors, it will have rear cross traffic alert. This doesn't quite have all of those features, but I think for the size of car, it has more than enough. Going into talking about handling when going down a little bit of a rough track is not exactly the best time to talk about it, but let's face it, this car is not going to be a car that you're throwing around the racetrack. It really is just a town car for getting from A to B, and it's very good at doing that. But when it comes to handling, it does lose its composure slightly when it comes to tackling those B roads. It's not quite as engaging as something like the Renault Clio or a Volkswagen Polo, but that is going to set you back quite a lot more money if you go for that car. But for what it was built for, which is just darting around towns, the steering is nice and light, it's not too vague, and it's just a pretty enjoyable car.
The rear seats of the Corsa may pose a challenge for adults with above stature due to the narrow door apertures. However, once inside, there's ample room for two tall adults. The boot space remains at 309 litres, which is commendable for its class. The access to the boot is good and loading and unloading is easy. It is unfortunate that there's no height adjustable boot floor, a feature that many competitors offer. This feature helps minimise the drop from the boot lid to the floor, making it more convenient to load in heavy luggage.
All versions of the facelifted Vauxhall Corsa get a 10-inch touchscreen as standard, compared to the 7-inch screen that it replaces. You also get a digital instrument cluster on all cars as well, which is really nice. But what I am surprised about is that you don't have the nice panel which you get on the Astra. It feels a lot more modern, although this is a smaller car and it is more affordable. However, it would have been nice to have that real modern twist of the panel on the interior. It also surprises me that though on the Peugeot E208 they've changed the touchscreen, because previously customers complained that they wanted their Apple CarPlay full screen, so they've changed that. But on the Corsa, it still remains just in the centre, which is a bit of a shame. But it does mean that it has your shortcuts always down the sides, which is really easy to use. In fact, when it comes to usability, that's something the Corsa is really good at. You've got a physical volume control button, a physical home button, and you'll also find your physical climate control dials at the bottom as well. It's all just really user-friendly, and I think this is part of its charm. You also don't have the issue with the digital instrument cluster that you get on the Peugeot, which means the steering wheel actually covers the screen. It's really visible and really clear and easy to see.
As part of the infotainment upgrade, new Corsa models are available with wireless smartphone charging for the first time, with smartphone integration for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Over-the-air updates allow owners to access the latest features and developments without taking their cars to a retailer.
Quality is very much on par with the outgoing version of the Vauxhall Corsa before the facelift, and it's better than previous generations. It sits around the mid-range of other cars on sale. It's not particularly cheap, but then it also doesn't have the most premium different materials as well. I preferred the premium materials that you get in the Esprit Alpine Renault Clio, but then that car was a little bit more expensive. It's not offensive though. I like the fact that you get this gloss grey and you've got the white gloss which runs along the top, which matches the stripes down the centre of the seats. And these seats are quite nice. They're nice and bolstered, they're really comfortable. They are finished completely in cloth, but they don't feel bad quality. You've got a leather wrapped steering wheel, and you also find bits of gloss black which some people won't like, but it does make it feel a little bit more premium. It's a shame that you don't get a leather wrapped handbrake. Nearly took out the car.
The least powerful version of the Corsa will start at $19,275, with the turbo starting at a little under £1,000 more. No longer the cheap option that it used to be. It's actually coming in £500 less than the entry-level Polo. However, this does seem to be the average pricing for a car of its size. The Dacia Sandero is still the budget option, undercutting the Corsa by a whopping £5,000.
It's easy to see why the Vauxhall Corsa has remained such a top-selling car in this small car segment. It offers a ton of practicality and lots of equipment. Plus, the face change has now made it feel fresh and modern on the interior and exterior. However, with models like the Renault Clio being launched as a hybrid, it does feel a little bit backwards going for just a petrol model, when you can get a hybrid for cheaper and it's going to cost you less to run. I think it would have been better for Vauxhall to launch this new facelifted model with that hybrid engine to give customers more choice. But let me know, what do you think of the facelifted Vauxhall Corsa? Is it still on your list of your next small car? Let me know in the comments down below. I really hope you have enjoyed this video today, guys. If you have, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more, then make sure you hit the subscribe button. Until next time, see you later.